Okay, so Gucci Man decided to respond to NBA YoungBoy, and let me tell you, this is this is crazy, but also kind of petty and phenomenal. Listen, this okay. So this whole idea is that NBA YoungBoy says something in a diss track that I've heard parts of and never heard it, but he talked about Gucci and talked about people, right? So this is funny to me because Gucci just simply lays out a lot of information that we can talk about after it, but he calls it publicity stunt. So we're gonna right to that after a word from my sponsor, but we'll get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it short. I don't have a lot of information on Gucci Man, but Gucci Man was at one point a sound and a voice for Atlanta in the early 2000 2006. He was a sound that people wanted to understand and discuss about music and how it had touched the South. With Gucci Man, there came people like T.I. There also came people like Lil Wayne, Rick Ross. Anyway, NBA Youngboy is a newer rapper, under Cash Money, which let me tell you something. Cash Money, when they make diss records, are amazing. They're amazingly petty. So Gucci Man basically talks about people not, especially rappers, not being what they present in their songs, which is a an apparent thing that everybody brings up in their diss tracks, which I think is very funny at this point because we're like, okay, but is any rapper besides rappers that have proven points like Gucci Man that have proven records or proven anything really about what they're rapping about? He also mentions, um, shortly, he just kind of mentions, he talks about people not being rich, people not being richer than him. They actually really broke. Okay, so this has been subtly assumed he's talking about Gucci Man is because of it's a snippet of a song he plays. Um, but Gucci Man has been out of rap for a little bit over maybe less than 10 years. He always comes back and he always does a song and always does a feature and it always catches mainstream attention. But he's made money without having to strictly do rap like a lot of rappers had to do. No one particularly knows Gucci Mane's net worth or how much he's really bringing home. Really, I think the number either people don't notice enough or people don't care about it enough. But he just says I'm richer than half of them. He says I'm half of them. But he says this whole thing where he says I don't hang out with rappers, and I think this, I think this has two different kind of tones to it. Where he talks about there are a lot of rappers that fake what they're doing to be like a PR move or do it because they know it'll sell numbers. Like that whole theme of hip hop, you really got to be about it to make it in hip hop, right? We've seen some of that be true. We've seen some of it not be true, right? So that stereotype on hip hop, right? Which a lot of people will probably say, well, rappers do it because they know it works. Yeah, it's been proven multiple times to work. But he says that's why I don't hang out with rappers because they try to put like a fake persona of what they're really not. But Gucci Mane's certified in what he's done. Like it's certified. It's you can look it up if you want to, right? But at a point, he ran ATL. He ran Atlanta like crazy. Um, you couldn't find a song without Gucci Man being on it, and without it being like in the top out hundreds, right? Like it was very rare. While no one was really going, hey, put in that Gucci Man. Gucci Man was not being passed up. Um, was not being passed up. So he makes the subtle diss where he's like, he makes the subtle diss where he's like, so is it? Are you industry? Are you really about that life? Because a lot of people are just industry. They follow the industry because the industry or the PR teams will tell them, hey, you got to act a certain way to sell numbers. Why? Because they've seen it happen. A lot of rappers follow it. Many rappers don't. But that's why I say, are you an industry? Are you really about the stuff you rap about? But Gucci Man says it hasn't been proven, which, to no surprise, I don't actually know his history. I don't. And I won't act like I do because I have no idea what his history is because NBA YoungBoy is never really on my radar unless we're looking at diss tracks. So he's very off of my radar of, oh, rappers I need to pay attention to because they do amazing stuff. He's not on that radar. Unfortunately, he's not. But he makes this quote where he says, where NBA YoungBoy goes, I feel like Gucci in 2006. Now, let me tell you something. That title comes with a lot of hate because Gucci Mane got a lot of hate in 2006, but he was also in every club in 2006, right? Like, Gucci Mane was known for making club mixes. So, to say you make club mixes and are given credit is something I don't think NBA can claim, right? Because Gucci was making club mixes. He was like that's what he was doing. He was making club mixes and dance mixes, right? And I think a lot of people know a lot more Gucci than NBA YoungBoy, but overall, that's all he does. He says this is just a publicity stunt. I don't have to do publicity stunts to sell numbers. I've never seen Gucci have to do it, so overall, it's just how you look in appearance in public because you're trying to make a certain quota or numbers that the label wants you to make, which Cash Money probably has that high quota where they want you to make like $1 million every time you release or a couple 100,000 when you release, which I don't know NBA YoungBoy's numbers, but I don't think he's doing like Wayne, Nicki, Drake numbers. He's probably maybe Juvenile numbers. I don't know. But I know he's not doing Tiger numbers. So overall, I just think Cash Money has that standard. So when he says publicity stunt, I think either he knows somebody from Cash Money that's like, hey, he has to sell this much, so he's doing it to make a publicity stunt. But overall, it's just who has more credibility.